John, I need to tell him this out where I'd say, hey, but I got to get right in it.
Okay.
Dadville listeners,
we can talk later.
John and I are not big on trendy clothes. I mean, I want to say that we are. I really do, but we're not. Okay, we're not. Instead, we're big on clothes that feel good and last. You see what I did there?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't hang out to dry.
Thank you.
That's why we keep coming back to what, John?
Quince.
That's right, Quince. Their lightweight layers and high-quality staples have become our everyday essentials.
That's right. You know, Quince, it's the best.
It's the best.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, Quince has the kind of stuff you'll actually wear on repeat.
That's
like
right.
breathable flow knit polos,
Ooh.
right? Crisp cotton shirts,
No.
and comfortable lightweight pants that somehow work for both weekend hangs and dress-up dinners.
And the best part is everything on Quince is half the cost of similar brands.
That's right. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury pieces without the markups.
I love luxury pieces, John. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes.
That's right, Dave. I just got this organic cotton
it's so
stretch
soft.
poplin shirt from Quince, and now I'm ready for the beach.
Could you just put it back on just for the
Well, I
rest of the ad read?
like the feeling of taking it off and putting it on.
Okay, well,
you know what I mean?
I guess it's sort of fun to watch. That looks great, John. Stick to the staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/dadville for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's crazy. That's quince.com, QUINCE.com/dadville to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dadville.
Sorry.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
Dadville listeners,
Hey.
we've got a quick favor to ask.
Okay, we'd love, and I mean love, to hear your thoughts on this podcast. So we put together a really short survey, and it really is short, we promise.
Yep.
It's going to help us out big time.
And listen, to say thanks for helping us out, we're going to pick one lucky listener to win a free bag of Dadville coffee. And what else,
And
John?
one of our vinyls.
That's right.
Actually, a vinyl each.
Yeah,
I said
was
that
gonna
wrong.
say, I'd rather both of us send
This
it.
ad is way longer than the survey is going to be, I promise.
So listen, tell
And
him,
you
John.
can find the survey link right there in the show notes. Go on, give us your input. We love you. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Dave Barnes,
And I'm John McLaughlin.
and welcome to Dadville.
Dadville's a podcast where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of awesome dadding.
It's funny thoughts and deep talks.
So please enjoy your time here in Dadville and enjoy this episode with
Charles Kelley.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Buying a car shouldn't eat up your week. That's why Carvana made it convenient. Car buying that fits around your life, not the other way around. You can get pre-qualified for an auto loan in just a couple of minutes and browse thousands of quality car options, all within your terms, all online, all on your schedule. Turn car buying into a few clicks and not a full week's endeavor. Finance and buy your car at your convenience on
Carvana.
Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Guys, you guys started talking about good stuff, so I just started recording.
Well,
Okay,
we already wrapped it up.
Y'all have already gotten all the content. So I want to talk about that, but first we have to do. Oh, I should say that we have Charles Kelley with us today, guys.
Let's start there.
Let's start there.
We're going to start with Hot 5 questions from...
Okay. So first thing I want to start with, Charles, is I'm not lying to you. We start with a brag sheet every time when somebody comes on. So kind of like, what you've done out in the world and whatever. But I stopped counting at 80.
Yeah, we had to employ AI.
There were like probably
to narrow this down.
100 bullet points. And I was like, that's incredible.
That's a good publicist team. They just keep stuffing it up there.
Well, it also had, which is my bio is guilty of, which is like, release this album this year. And you're like, it's great. Music is always great, but I don't
Started the pre-sale for that album a month before.
The pre-sale.
Announced that album at their London show. Okay, so here is I'm going to just read what this says. Charles Kelley is best known as one-third of Grammy-winning country trio Lady A, formerly Lady Antebellum. His career has spanned songwriting, singing, producing, and solo work. Here are some highlights. Here we go.
Ooh.
Breakthrough with Need You Now, 2009. Signature hit, co-written with Kelley. Massive crossover success. I feel like I tell you this every time I see you. 92.9 plays the junk out of that song. It's amazing.
Well, it's funny. We will get into it, like you said, but I've been having that channel on a lot of times when I get in the car, because my new single off my solo project, Can't Lose You, is on AC.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's actually went top 10 on
No,
AC.
dude, that's amazing.
I know, it's crazy. So I've been waiting to hear it. And every time I'm in the car,
it's Need You.
I've heard Need You Now like 2 or 3 times. And I always have that like quick reaction like, oh, wait, that's that one. So I still haven't heard it.
That is hysterical.
But it's funny though. AC hits, they're like 60 plays that week, versus like where it's like on country radio. So it's it's all building blocks, but it's really it's hilarious how much I hear Need You Now on there.
Me and the kids, they always they will bring it up every time it starts. They're like, Dad, it's Lady A. I'm like, you guys, whoever's paying those people, it's working. 4 Grammy Awards for that song.
For that song.
So. Yeah. Including record.
Look at me already. I'm like, no.
Hang on.
Well, no.
Publicist is on the phone already.
Oh my gosh, that was so douchey. I'm sorry.
You're defending your honor.
No, like, come on.
You don't work that hard to get the numbers wrong. Multiple number one singles and albums. 11 number one singles. Need You Now and The Night Golden all hit number 1 on Billboard 200. Grammy, CMA, and ACM Awards. I mean, you guys, geez, 7 Grammys, including Best Country Album, Best Country Performance. Numerous CMA and ACM awards, written for a billion people beside yourself, including obviously the band. And then renamed the band, which we're going to talk about, to Lady A from Lady Antebellum, which was not a big deal. Nobody really cared.
Well, I mean,
that, right? just a little small,
small aside.
And then solo career, which again we want to talk about first, had The Driver, which I didn't realize it was nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
man. That's
they lost
so
to
cool.
Girl Crush, which I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Girl Crush was pretty amazing.
That's one to lose to. And then, which this is crazy, that record, The Driver, had collaboration with Stevie Nicks, Miranda Lambert, and Dierks. I mean, that's a decent thing. And then the new album, which is so I'm so excited about, by the way, comes out June 25th. I found out today as we were listening.
There you go. Did you pre-order?
Yeah, I did. I clicked, and it's free when you pre-order, which is crazy. It's called Songs from New Moon. So, Songs for New Moon. Yeah. Sorry. You guys were talking, that's why I tried to record and catch this, because I'm so curious. This is like a little bit of music nerdery, but, you've been in this band for how many years now?
Let's see. We started in 2006, so almost
19 years.
Almost 20.
I know, isn't that crazy? First single didn't come out till 2007.
Oh, but y'all formed.
We kind of formed, but we really didn't get going till 2007. Making our record, single was out, and the record came out like...
That is so frustrating to hear. Like, you get going in 2007. 2 years later, you guys are on top of the world.
It was wild.
That is not how it normally goes.
Well, in the moment, though, you're just like, oh, this is how... that makes sense. And then you look back 10 years later, and you're like, whoa, that was wild.
You know what's crazy? I don't even know if we talked about this. I have such a clear memory of... Andy and I lived over at the Parks at Melrose, and you and I had met maybe a couple of times in passing. But I remember you were there, hanging out with some friends at the pool, and we were chatting, and I think you guys had like literally just formed. Mm-hmm. And I remember us talking about that, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm in this band." And I was like, "Dude, that's amazing," because I think you had done some solo stuff. before
and I was a huge fan of yours. Dave and I, Hillary too. We found out later, but Dave and I were like, when we were first moved to town, we didn't know if we were going to be songwriters or what, but Dave and I, we were writing for my stuff. I have my brother Josh Kelley. Y'all kind of would go in some of those similar worlds, the singer-songwriter. And so, I became a fan of both you guys, and just, I feel like we were all kind of figuring out where it was going to go, and, this kind of was just happened.
Well, what's crazy, to John's point, and that's one of the things that's so interesting about living here as like a... John, you were on Universal at the time, Ollie Def Jam, but I hadn't signed a deal yet, and it was so funny because you were doing your thing, and then you'd meet friends in the country space that would sort of get into that processing plant, and it'd be like, oh, I saw him the other day at the pool, and then fast forward like 2 years, you're like, oh, they're like headlining the Grammys. You're like, boy, that's not exactly how my right. But because in country, if it works, it like really works.
Yeah, I think the timing, none of it was fabricated. It's just the timing of it. I think, they were. I feel like the town was looking for the next group, and
but also, and I really mean this. You guys are so good. It's a little bit of a super group, because I think each of y'all have such substantial skill sets.
I mean,
and so it's not just like, to your point, it's not fabricated. It's very much like, oh, these three really talented people found each other.
We did. And I mean, I say it to this day, and this is not just blowing smoke. I think Hillary's the best female vocalist in the genre. Now, she might not have the highest range as like a Carrie Underwood, but as far as her tone, I think she's unbeatable. And so I feel like just when we met, our voices blended so well, and Dave, like his low harmony underneath it just beefs up the whole thing so much, and take away from the fact that he's, hands down the best musician of the group. I mean, he can pick up anything. I mean, we wouldn't be able to write these songs without him. And so everybody has their spot.
Well, and that's what it takes. The other thing, too, that I think is really fun, I love the use of this, but I want to say this for the music fans out there. I remember seeing Fleetwood Mac, gosh, this would have been maybe even 10 years ago at Bridgestone. And something that I left that night thinking about so much, because this is when it was the full band, before, Christy and before the obviously died, but also that Lindsay and Stevie had the sort of rift or whatever.
Well, they had the riff way before that.
And then they kind of riffs, But I just couldn't get over, like, their vocal blend is so iconic.
Yeah.
And it was fun sitting there that night, hearing those three sing together and go, so they each have a voice, but they also have this other voice that's all of their voices.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the fourth voice of the band.
Totally.
And I think that about y'all. Like when I was doing those shows with y'all last year, I would get so like giddy, not just hearing y'all sing, but hearing you sing together, because it's like another little trick in the tool bag, where it's kind of like, oh, there's Charles singing, Hillary singing, and then when you do a harmony together, then Dave comes in, it changes the whole timbre.
You create dynamics. You know, it just naturally through it. I mean, we work pretty hard on that and how to build it, and certain building blocks, and then all right, then you come here on the pre, and then and then the chorus is the full three, and then it's like step away on the break. I mean, all kinds of ways that you can create extra dynamics.
Yeah.
Speaking of your voice, you in particular you have one of my favorite voices of anyone.
Amen.
Wow. And I'm curious, because you kind of have this hybrid of, like, I don't know who to think. Like, you take like Michael Jackson, like he's got a voice that is very like unique. It's like he's got the range of like a pop singer, but he also kind of has that character like a Willie Nelson, where it's like that's a very specific.
You know it
voice.
when you hear it.
You know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
And you are in that same category where it's like you're not just somebody who has great range and great tone, but it's a certain kind of tone. It's kind of a generic tone, but like that's a great singer. You have this character to it, that kind of gravelly thing. But my question is that something that you recognize? And this sounds like a completely obvious question, but I think you'd be surprised at the people who, like, their superpower, they feel like they don't have it, and it's probably why they're so good at it, because they feel like they have to work at it. Are you like, yeah, that's my thing, that's my superpower? Or are you like, no, over the years I have had to like work and work and work and like get good at this thing? Do you know what I mean?
I never like practiced. I had a lot of artists ask, like, before shows, do you do vocal warm-ups? I mean, I do the whoa, but it's just singing.
Favorite. That's my favorite.
I literally, I got a string.
It's what's the high note? The
high road, and I go quarter after one, and I need. If I can
I'm
go,
telling you, if you're in the backstage before a show, you will hear somewhere in the recesses of the halls those three warm up, and Charles like, I'm good,
and then that's it.
That's literally it.
See, that does not surprise me.
But it's a tick. It's become a tick.
Yeah.
It started out that every year I get like some sort of little sinus thing, and I can work through it, but there'll be certain shows where it's like it's hard to your head's so closed up that like you get to the falsetto. So I started like going full voice to falsetto, and I know if I can like do the run to you intro, I'm good. I got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But if not, it then turns into this like, all right, I need a hot tea. Oh, I got to do some push-ups to get my head open. Oh, I got to do this. Where's a steroid shot in the butt?
Yeah.
Do you have do you have some tricks that actually work?
I mean, literally, gosh, for the longest time before I stopped drinking, it was it was like, oh, whiskey. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, I just had 4 of them before the show.
Yeah.
But
where's Charles?
Yeah, where's Charles? But no, I mean, the biggest thing when it gets really, really bad, they do have that cortisone shot that I'll do one of the. You
told me about that.
And
I remember texting you years ago when I had a bad night.
But basically what it does is it just calms down the inflammation.
Yeah.
But like all my tone comes from my head. I feel like, and I'm definitely not a diaphragm singer. I'm a throat head.
Yeah.
Like I don't sing the right way. But with that said, I don't lose my voice very often unless I have like a sinus issue
And
or
you're
something
pushing too hard.
and I'm pushing too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been really fortunate with that. But gosh, we went on a trail. But to get back to I am very confident in my voice, yes. But like I don't think I necessarily am like conscious of what I'm trying to do. I definitely, though, growing up in cover bands, you'd sing Garth Brooks, then you'd turn around and you'd sing, Led Zeppelin. You turn around and sing like whatever was happening at the time, Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing that I had to figure out, I could mimic people's voices so well. So it was like, waking up in the morning, and then the next song I'd be like, blame it all on my roots. And the next thing would be like, and then I had to like, who am I?
Yeah.
And when I naturally sing, I definitely feel like I'm trying to channel a little bit of that Greg Allman, but it's not just Greg Allman. It's kind of meeting like a little bit of Bryan Adams in there, So it's different. But once I found my true voice, because I do think that everybody can, I think we can. There's little lines you can kind of go a little up and lower in your voice depending on the key, like low. So with Lady A, I feel like it brings out way more of that Bob Seger feel. And when I'm doing this solo stuff, I'm naturally taking the keys up. And so you're starting to pull out a tone in my voice.
Well, it's more Bryan Adams.
It's a little bit more Bryan Adams. It's a little bit more of that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So anyway, and I got the job.
You did?
Yeah.
I forgot how fast of a foot race you had. It makes sense
know.
though.
Well, they were kids.
So. Well, that makes a lot more sense. John, can I say something?
Please.
Hot days, humid nights, and nonstop plans.
I knew
all that heat can increase hair shedding, while a packed schedule can add stress, which can impact your hair. Okay? Nutrafol's whole body approach and clinically tested formulas support your hair from within, so you can focus on living your best life all summer long.
Listen, Dave, can I also say something?
Please do.
That's right. Okay, and that's why you need Nutrafol. I can't believe you didn't say Nutrafol. I mean,
sorry,
I left the window for you.
You did.
So I'm going to do it. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people.
That's so many people.
That's right. See, thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
Thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth doesn't get ready for it. Cut it.
Come on.
Nutrafol has multiple formulas for men and women that are tailored to different life stages, so you can get just what you need.
Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping. Sorry, I got choked up.
Wow.
Because it's just so generous.
I know, it is.
When you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Dadville.
Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com. That's spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code Dadville.
That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code Dadville. Dave, I would love to tell you about something I've been thinking about.
Okay.
Okay, you awake?
Yeah.
Featuring thousands of study notes drawn from the best-selling NIV application commentary series, the NIV Application Bible helps you understand Scripture and apply it to your modern life.
I want to add something. The
Okay, go ahead.
NIV Application Bible pairs a deeper understanding of the ancient biblical text with contemporary application of the lessons found within it, offering you a new way to understand what the Word of God means for your life today.
Dave, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What will I find inside the NIV
John,
Application
you will
Bible?
find sorry, gosh, I get so excited.
I know. You cut me off. That's
I'm so
rude.
sorry. Okay.
There's probably something in the Bible about cutting people off.
Here I go. John, you will find original meaning notes to help you understand the meaning of each passage in its context, application notes to help you integrate the teachings of the Bible into your daily life, and questions for growth in each chapter of the Bible that encourage reflection on how to apply Scripture to life.
And not only that, I'm surprised you didn't say this, but you will also find people to know, exploring the lives of biblical characters and Character of God articles exploring God's character.
Save an additional 10% on any NIV application Bible and NIV application commentary resources by visiting faithgateway.com/NIVAB and using pro code Dadville. It's a pro code and it's a promo code.
It's a
You're a
promo code.
if you use the promo. That's where I'm going.
And because I'm pro, I'm going to say it one more time. That's faithgateway.com/NIVAB and promo code Dadville for an extra 10% off.
Which that dude, if Phil Collins like this, but the 80s had a cadre of guys that when you hear them, thank you, when you hear them, you think, oh, baritone. And then you start singing the song and you're like, oh, no, that's a tenor. That's like a tenor.
You know who is totally like that, just to go down this rabbit hole? Matt Carney.
Oh, I've never thought about that.
That is a guy who, because when you talk to him, he's got
low
that
voice,
low voice. And then you start singing his songs.
High. They're high.
They are so high.
I didn't know that.
I love his records, man.
Well, I think,
I'm such a big fan of
to
him.
your point about your voice, I do think it is fun hearing this new stuff because you said it so well. You get to sort of fly a little more, because it's all that space is just for you to sing.
Well, and one of the reasons too for that is, Hillary in her range, she's right in that kind of, for a female singer, a middle range. Mm-hmm. So if I go too high, we got to make sure she can get up there in a good spot. So I do feel like you're always kind of finding the middle ground where maybe you're singing a half step lower than you'd like, or vice versa. And it happens to her as well. Sometimes she's having to sing.
A lot of give.
Sometimes she's having to sing a song just naturally. And so you've written with us a bunch of times. I mean, we'll spend 30 minutes as we're writing a song being like, try and
get the key
four
right.
different keys.
Yeah.
And so,
and there's this life so much better than I do, but there's nothing worse than those days when you're writing and you realize, gosh, the chorus needs to go down because we've written the verse so high.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, God. Or you run it and you realize everybody's been singing a falsetto. You're like, let's try it full voice. And it's like,
oh, nope, that doesn't work.
No.
I know. Yeah. Well, we've come to that realization quick. So we out of efficiency, the minute we get an idea going,
it's just like, let's go. Okay.
Where's the highest part? And we're going to move backwards. Because nothing producers hate worse than having to go change every instrument they play to have
no doubt.
But no, it has though been a fun run to be able to kind of live in some of these different worlds and try some.
So,
new things.
What was the inspiration for doing this record?
I mean, it really kind of came out naturally, man. I literally, after, I'm about to celebrate 3 years of sobriety here. So like just an amazing life change. Yeah. I mean, for a guy that literally from 15 years old till I was 40 have pretty much lived and breathed like every day is like looking forward to when I can have a drink. I mean, it just naturally got to that point.
Yeah.
It just was a part of my life so much. It wasn't like I was waking up in some ditch, but it was just like one of those things where it was like, like right now I might even be like, hey, make this a little more fun. I'll probably be a little funnier if you make me a cocktail right now. Right? It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
but
and
this
really
would be the
is,
excuse for it.
It's so in our culture.
It is, and like it just became a thing where it just next thing you know. So to me, I've gone through this crazy change where through this process, I've kind of realized that my moral compass was really, really off. I've grown so much closer to my spirituality. I'm still defining what that is. I'm definitely one of those guys that like grew up kind of going to church, but I'm still like navigating what is my core belief system. I believe in God, but I'm like, I don't know if it's all these, so it's an interesting journey I've been through, and it's like, but it's made me so much closer with just how I think of the world, what I want to be moving forward. But it's my wife and I's relationship has completely done a 180.
Wow.
It got so toxic and trying there for the last 5 years that what's happened to me is like, it's just amazing how much more we've fallen in love. And so I wanted to put that emotion into these songs.
That's
so
great.
It's a very hopeful record. It feels good, but the sound of it just kind of came. One day I was writing some music with Sam Ellis, and the first song that really kicked off this thought was this song called Run. And he just started kind of having this bed that felt very 80s. And I was like, this is really cool. I don't know where I could do this. I mean, and so the first thing you think of as a country artist is like, okay, this is really cool. We can take this 80s bed, throw some mandolin on it, throw a steel guitar,
run it through the thing.
Well, can I say something just really quick? I think for people that are listening, I think they underestimate how much country artists in this town love a lot of music, but
everything.
Can do a lot of
do
music.
A lot of music.
Yeah. And so I think that if you're
growing up
listening,
in the
going
mixtape generation,
well, there you
man.
go. And so I think just to compliment you, and also I think to add some context, I think it's easy to listen to a genre that's so specific like country and go like, oh, all of these girls and guys in bands love country, and that's why they do it. Well, yes, but I mean that doesn't mean they didn't come up like
love everything.
And so I think when you have a moment like that where you go, oh my gosh, I love how that sounds because I love that kind of music.
Yeah.
There is a dilemma you have where you're like, well, shoot.
Well, I mean, gosh, you got all these pop artists coming in the country. It's like, well, we all just love. There's an appreciation for every genre.
Yeah.
And so to
and they
me,
do blend. They really
do.
blend.
We push the. We've always unapologetically been a pop country band. I've said it from the beginning. I said, I always tell my country buddies, let's go hunting. I'm like, I'm a little more country club than country. Let's be honest. I grew up in Augusta, Georgia,
That's so
by
good.
a golf course, and so it just. I've always what I think we have done well. We've never tried to act like we are something we're not.
Right,
we
right.
don't have
Mhm.
songs about getting the hay off the field. We don't. That's not what we did. We'd be full of crap if we said we did. And so, but like to me, it just kind of came. But what really though was like, all right, now I'm thinking I got to do a solo record. Was when I wrote "Can't Lose You."
Yeah.
Wrote that with Lindsey Rhymes, Michael Whitworth, and Josh Keir. I mean, Josh Keir is who we wrote "Need You Now" with. We left that session on such a high, and I was like, all right, I've come to the conclusion I don't know what a hit is anymore. I don't. It's like you come out so excited, you play for everybody, and it's crickets, and then you come out going, this is okay, and everybody thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. So to me, I don't know. I just enjoy the process. But this was so fun, and I said, whatever this is, I want to feel that moment. And you got some of these, like Josh Keir, one of the biggest songwriters, and he's like, right after the session going, when are we going to do this again? And I said, well, let's pull out our phones. And I was like, they all collectively, I think, because for them it was a fun exercise of actually being able to write outside the lines too. And so once we had about 3 or 4 songs, I was like, we got a theme lyrically. It was the first time too, I think lyrically, I was like, I'm sticking to a theme. Because there were some other songs that felt pretty hitty and would have been good for this record, but thematically it was like, it doesn't fit. I said, I want when people put this record on, they know what I've gone through, they know where I'm at, they get some inspiration from it. But
was that a new approach? For a record,
I've usually always, which again, I think this is going to take me into the next Lady A record with a similar feel of chasing a feeling from top to bottom. We've always just written a ton. Pick the best 15 songs and then
kind of retroactively put a theme onto it.
Exactly. And it sometimes gets a little head jerky, And so to me, I remember listening to AC/DC. We were at the beach, and Julian Bonetta, who wrote, Julian's a great songwriter, written a lot of country hits, but also wrote like Espresso and Lose Control, Teddy Swims. And he was like, when I put on a record, I want to stay in that gear the whole time. And it was like AC/DC, I'm ready to rock. And from top to bottom, when you listen to that record, like Back in Black, you just want to run through a wall. And it's like, when I want to chill, I put on like Casey Musgraves. And then from top to bottom, I'm just in a chill mood. And I was like, man, I never thought about it that way. Because I always feel like it's like, here's your 2 tempos. Oh, here's your ballad. And then we go another tempo, maybe a ballad. Can't do too many ballads back to back.
I love maybe a ballad. And
it's just like all these overthinking things. But I don't know. It just felt fresh. It felt authentic. I wasn't trying to sit there too, which I told the guys, I was like, I'm making an 80s record, 80s inspired record, but I'm not going to sit there and go like, she was on this pub with a bitch and I told her. Or that sounds a little bit more like 90s. But you know what I mean? It's still my same voice under a completely different bed. Keys might be a hair higher. But it's still like, and I was talking, I keep throwing these songwriter names, but like Nicole Gallion is a great friend. And when I first had about a batch of songs, it's like, I think I'm going to do this. Because she's like, what are you up to? And I'm like, I think I'm making an 80s record. She's like, oh my gosh. I said, am I crazy? Are people going to think I'm crazy? And she's like, I would think you were crazy more and full of crap if I heard you do like a bro country thing.
Yeah.
Like you're drawing for straws, or
Yeah.
or if all of
Yeah.
a sudden you went super traditional country because that's popping right now. She was like, that to me would be this. They're like, you've always had a voice that fits this stuff. She was like, this sounds like you. And it's just been a fun journey, man. I have obviously I want it to reach as many people, but it's so much less pressure with like any level of success it has to meet. With like certain things, Lady A don't become success or don't connect. That hits a little harder because there's a little bit more pressure on it. With this, it's like,
it's free.
I've already gone through this with my first solo record. It was like it didn't reach as many people as I had hoped, but I was like, I'm super proud of it. Had like little wins, like Grammy nom and stuff. But it's like with this, I'm kind of going into it knowing after 20 years that you just don't know what it's going to do. That like any little win I get feels so amazing.
Well, is there any better impetus for a record than a song that is so undeniable you have to write the rest of the record? That's the greatest North Star.
That's really what it was. I mean, it was like this. I don't know what this is. I know it's not Lady A, for sure. And also, that's another thing too. It's like people are like, "Well, were you ever want to do start writing this for Lady A stuff?" And I was like, "Well, in the beginning, of course, my first thought every write is Lady A first."
Yeah,
but I also can't go in there and be like, "Hey guys, I've gone through this crazy life change.
Yeah,
I'm really feeling 80s. I'd like to write a record from top to bottom about my story. Are you in, Dave and Hillary?" It'd be like, "Well, that's not fair."
Well, when you're feeling this like organic, pure joy from this solo record, is there any part of you that is like, okay, is there room for both? Is this gonna mess up the trajectory?
No, I learned the first time it doesn't. I mean, Lady A is always going to be the thing. I mean, you go see a band. I mean, you want to see the whole band. You want to see all, and so it's like, I remember we were reading the Greg Allman book, and he was like, I even had Allman in my last name, and still he goes, I play a theater, and then he goes, I get back together with a band, and we're playing, amphitheaters in front of 25,000 people. So I think Lady is always going to be, that's what people fell in love with the first for me. But I do think I can create a lane. None of it though I'm just not even thinking about that. It's weird, and I think this is the first time in my life I haven't. I used to demand success to be happy, and now it's just like, and I think that took some ups and downs. That took some failures. It took some successes, because when we were on top of the world, I really wasn't my happiest. It was a lot. It was heavy. It was stressful. You're pulled in so many ways that you can't even enjoy it. And then you also had a little bit of a target of pressure on your back, coming off after Need You Now, which was tough. Everything gets compared to that. So for the next 5 years, it was like, that was great. Yeah, it was a hit, but wasn't Need You Now.
Isn't it funny to think like that feels like one of those things that I would love if you could make like a pamphlet to people that move to town that want to do artistry. Somewhere a page in that pamphlet would be like, welcome to Nashville. Here's just some things to think about. A page for me would be, here's the weird, maybe ironic thing about having a hit song, is that if it's really substantial, it's the thing that makes your career, but it's going to always be the thing that everything is compared to.
It is.
And I think it's hard to onboard that, because you think, oh, I'm going to have 10 of those. Yeah. But you're not. And
you're not.
No, so few bands ever do. Most bands have their one gigantor song, and then the couple that are big, but it's like if in other words, if we went out to 12 South right now and had like a interview with everybody that walked by and be like, all right, and you name bands, they're going to pretty much say this. Tell me one song. They'd be like, it's going to be the same songs over and over.
Totally.
And so I think the thing that's hard, to your point about that, is you kind of go, we did it, and then you realize, like, oh gosh, we did it.
Here's my advice for every artist. Don't have your biggest song too early. You want to like build up to that biggest song. No, I mean, it was huge though.
But you guys had hits before that.
Again, we've been. I'm not complaining. We've had, like you said, we've had 11. We've had a lot of number 2s. We've had a lot of number 3s, which are hilarious. Which arguably some of the number 3s are bigger than our number 1s.
I know.
So it's not about the numbers for me. It's literally about, I think we've always stayed true to who we are and, tried not to chase too much. But we have chased a couple times, and usually it never works when you do, But
so with some of the discomfort when Need You Now was so massive, Was some of the, you said you were not your happiest during that time when you should be riding high. Was some of the discomfort because you're like, okay, it happened, like it's happening.
Yeah.
Enjoy it now. It's like Christmas morning and you're like, all right, it's here.
Yeah.
Like, be happy.
Yeah.
Like the clock's ticking.
It just was, we were pulled so many ways. I've never been like, we didn't say no to anything. We did everything. And it was just like, I remember like going over, to Europe and like being so jet lagged and, like just going right into it. Putting right into the machine. And like now, we've learned to just pace it out and do. And it's just so much of it, you just felt like you were running on fumes a little bit. But it was just weird. And to me too, I just think the whole fun of making music is the grind and the rise up to something. The dream of, man, this could be something. When you have it, it is this realization. It's like, wow, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was like, it's great, but then it's such a, what have you done for me lately? Kind of town with anything, with any job, I think. And so I don't know. It just, I don't think I was able to appreciate the ride we were on until, you get a little later on, you look back on it. And because you think, oh, well, this is just the way it's going to go, I guess. Every time we put a song out, because there for a good 5 years, it was like, put a song out. Number one, put a song out. This is how it's going to go. And then you start hitting some walls, and then you start second guessing yourself. You start writing different than you used to. You start, it's just all those little things. But I don't know. It's just, it feels good to be in a great place in my life where everything is starting to come into perspective. That's age, that's sobriety. It's having a family and just, I don't know. I just don't feel like I demand success like I used to. It's just, and there is a fun grind to this solo thing that I like. I have no idea what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And already just having like a top 10 on AC, I'm like, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Because that's
amazing.
I told my manager, I was like, I'm self-funding this. I don't want to do a label because I don't want to like, what's going to happen is they're going to be like, all right, we'll spend some money. And then if I want to spend more money, I'm going to have to pay for it. Then they're going to get paid first. I said, I want to just be full in.
Yeah.
I have, I've been really smart with money. I said, I want to invest in this project. If I make it back, that's great. If not, this is fun.
It's so fun.
This gives me way more joy than building an addition on the house for the money I spent on this thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, man. It's fun to see it have some little moments and actually kind of have the desired effect, which was, wow, I didn't expect that from him.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it. I mean, like, just even rehearsing with the band the other day for a couple things we got coming up, I was like, whew, I'm like dancing like, am I dancing too much? Like this music makes me want to dance as I'm singing it. Am I dancing too much? Because it's not like you're going to dance to like Just a Kiss, Need You Now. But like this music, when you're like, I can't lose you, and I'm dancing, girl, and I'm dancing. I can't stop my feet, and I'm dancing. I'm like, man, this is fun.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is. It's bringing out like a little character in me in a way.
So you've mentioned sobriety so much, which too you have to think that you can enjoy it in such a different way now because of that.
I love it.
Do you know what I mean?
I really do.
There's just a lightness to it.
There's not like me trying to convince myself. I went so hard for so long that I've done it. I've done it all. I've accomplished everything in that world I needed to do with my drinking. I've seen some highs in it. I've seen some lows in it.
Accomplished everything I wanted to do with my drinking.
Everything. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to walk in a room and have people sit you down and go, oh, it's one of those things. The intervention, here it comes.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's definitely moments you miss it, but I've got my memories of it. And I also just, like anything, just the same thing of like, you realize that success isn't what you thought it was going to be. You realize that like, oh man, I know, like, to have those first couple drinks is fun. It would probably make this cocktail party a little bit more fun for me to be at, but I know where it's going to go and I know what that feels like. I don't have to worry about that. So it's like, there's so much more kind of interesting stuff in life now that I get to enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I don't have this one silly thing. I mean, it really is silly to think about that, like something that you sip on can literally be something that controls your thoughts in a way. I remember when I really tried to cut back on my drinking, and our my tour manager at the time, Adam Boatman, he's down with Lauren Daigle, and he I remember he said, I knew you had a problem when you were trying to slow down and cut back your drinking. And he goes, and all you did for 4 hours were talk about how you were going to pace out your drinks pre-show, after show. And I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start. I'm just going to do like one little shot of whiskey in here with some water. And then probably, I'm thinking maybe Adam, maybe an hour for the show, I want to do this.
Oh,
and maybe during the show, instead of bringing me another whiskey, how about y'all just bring me like a Coors Light, put it on ice, put a little water. He goes, and afterwards, that's probably when I'll have the wine. So if you can have some wine. And he was like,
the amount of energy
that
you have to dedicate.
And he was like, that's when I knew. It wasn't when you were like, little too buzzed. It was when you were talking and obsessing about how I was going to lay it out
so clearly.
And I'm going to probably need a little power bar. I got a little something in my stomach.
Power. Nothing mixes with whiskey like a
it
power
was
bar.
when you said power bar.
Yeah.
That's when we knew this is
the
a problem.
thing that I so respect about what you did, I mean, being out with y'all last year, I just thought this was so beautiful that every night you would have your moment where you talk about it, and then you do the song. And to me, I'm like, it just takes so much power from it when you can talk about it and to tell the audience and to walk them through that thing. Because I think an easy thing to do, especially in our industry, would be like, hey, so we're going to keep this real tight.
Yeah.
We're going to tell the people that need to know. And then that's just going to be our thing. But I just think it's something that it takes so much from its ability to be over you to go, hey, this is where I am.
When it gives it positive power.
That's right.
Well, it's more so. I think some of the responsibility of someone that's gone through in his sobriety is to spread the message a little bit, but not do it because there is absolutely nothing wrong with drinking, but there is a lot of bad things about recognizing that you are an alcoholic. And I think it's like you say, take a little bit of that power away from it, because it's like anything. I mean, you can be addicted to your phone and you know, could be on stage talking. I mean, we all are. Talk about that. I want to write a song about that. I was at the airport the other day and I was like sitting and intentionally like, I'm not going to look at my phone. And I looked around and I swear to you, in about 100 people in my vicinity, there may have been one person, but like everyone, I'm talking like people my mom's age, just heads down, heads down, and like, or like you go to dinner and it's like an entire family. You're like, this is wild. This is like an epidemic.
Yeah.
Like we are absolutely so addicted with like just and so immune to having any like just sit with our thoughts anymore.
Yeah.
That is the common thread through all of it. Like the cocktail party that you're talking about, where this cocktail party would be so much more digestible with a cocktail. And this airport wait for my plane would be so much more digestible with this phone. It's like the common thread is like sitting with myself.
Yes.
In like every angle of looking at that, like literally sitting with myself, or like being at this cocktail party with people I don't really know. What if like I can't be that just me?
Yeah.
What if they don't like that me? There's really like you would have to really accept that. That's probably step one.
Yeah, for sure. Know? Well, yeah, it is, and like you realize, wow, I really didn't. I didn't like to talk to new people like I used to. I just was, I was out there having a drink and it would loosen me up to kind of be a guy, but was that really me? I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it pulled out a side of me, but I look back at it and I'm just like, I really don't like to be, and I don't care what people think. I'm like, I'll be at this party for 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to dip out. I can do an hour for or dinner for an hour and a half. I'm not going to stay here all night, especially when everybody's like, I that's not who I am anymore. I'd rather be at home and open my book or, So it is interesting, though. I mean, I really admire the young kids when I go in some different meetings and I see like 20-year-olds doing this. I'm like, wow. I cannot say that I would have been able to do that. Like I had so much to lose with my family, my wife, my band, that it drove me to then have this realization. But without that, I don't know why. So I really admire the young kids that can get a grasp on this thing before it takes hold of their life. So
With PayPal, I can pay now or pay in full. No interest and no fees. Now feast your ears on this prime-cut musical meat. You can pay your own way. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Subject to approval, eligibility varies. Learn more at paypal.com/pay-in-4.
Well, and to John's point, I mean, it's funny. My kids have started like really hazing me about the phone stuff, and it's brought exactly that revelation to me. Same thing you just said. It's like, man, I do have this tendency to sort of like, if I get bored or I'm somewhere where I got to wait for something.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something to recognize.
Well, but it's funny when like having kids now that are at the age where like, Dad, and I'm like, shout, or like I'll get on to them about something. Hey, don't, guys. And they're like, well, you're on your phone. I'm like, oh, God, well played. Shout across the bow. It is hard to navigate that. So we sort of joked about this earlier, but talk about the Lady H name change. What a crazy thing.
That was really tough, man. I mean, I think, who I really felt the most just hurtful for it by was Dave and Hillary, as you know, are two of the nicest people ever in the entire world. Mm-hmm. I mean, never deserve any hate coming their way. And like the things that, and Hillary got a lot because it was like she's this female, lady. Yeah. And like Hillary is the nicest, most loving. Both of them are the most religious in this. And I think that it just got such a twisted narrative of, when it came. I'm actually really proud we changed our name because to me, with where we are in this world, we never thought about it. And I think there's something about growing up in the South. Like to me, when I came up with the name, I was like, I loved the style of an antebellum.
Yeah,
I was like, it's beautiful. And
we're going to Augusta too.
And I was like, and I was like, we're going to be like this Southern sounding, warm magnolia. Antebellum, like that's how my thought feels when I hear that word. I never thought about it because I never had to think about it. Right. That when like people of color hear that word, that's triggering. So I literally was like, wow, I never thought about it that way. And so to me, even if it's just offending like 5 people, I don't want anyone to ever think. To me, that's like the worst thing you could tell someone is like you're a racist or something, and you're like, whoa, like it's just such a strong connotation. And so I was like, man, I don't know if I can move. We were like, I don't know if we can move forward with that name and feel right about it. So we changed it. I don't think we had any idea of how polarizing it would be. Now you can call it whatever you want. The woke. I mean, we are just not a political band. We're not. We are all about the music, and I just wanted everyone. We just wanted everyone to know that we want everyone. We love everybody. We want everybody to feel comfortable. And it got twisted so much where it just was like, doesn't matter what you do in that situation. The left sides, the right sides, whatever you want to call it, they're going to have a strong opinion, and they're always so much louder than the middle. That actually, I think people that knew us and know our hearts behind it. But it was tough, man. I mean, so hard. Just because you felt like you couldn't defend yourself. There's nothing you could say in that moment, but like all I can say is that we learned so much about ourselves. We leaned on each other so much. I definitely started amping up my drinking during that time, which eventually led to this, which I'm like, everything happens for a reason. We would talk about believing there's a God and having purpose and that everything is part of your story. Everything has always come in my life pretty easily with this band. Obviously we've had our ups and downs, but I feel like it was the first time I had to actually like, whoa, wow, like this is a life-changing heavy moment for us as a band to have to deal with, and we dealt with it, and we leaned a lot into our David Hiller, especially our spirituality. I mean, we used to pray about this stuff, and it was just a tough thing, but we learned a lot about it. And I think it's the world we live in where I think words matter, and when you grow up in the South, you're not thinking about it, I mean, even growing up when I was I never thought about a Confederate flag as being associated with that until I got a little older, because you would just see it around. It was like this, like, oh, it's just a Southern history thing. It's like, well, no, it represents something, and why are you holding on to it? So, I think I learned a lot about that, and I think over time people have realized, especially people that know us, the town. I can't tell you how many people reached out and was like, I can't believe I feel so bad for y'all, but I was like, man, we're going to get through it. We can handle it. And because when you listen to our music, our first number one was Run to You. I Run from Hate. I Run from Prejudice. I Run from Pessimist. But it's like, we have never, ever had anything but a welcoming, loving, musical, message. And so it was interesting. But like I said, learned a lot about myself.
The thing that would be, this is so obvious, but I think it bears saying. The thing that would be especially hard for me if I were y'all, and what I grieved so much for y'all was you're trying to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. It'd be one thing if it's like, well, that's kind of shifty, whatever. But you guys are going, hey, you know what? Like, we've really learned a lot.
Yeah.
We want to consider these things, and to be considered, we're going to change the name. And instead, you have this huge group of people who comes in and start, and you're like, gosh, we're doing the right thing, and we're getting
but it's just the world we live in. I think everybody they want to be triggered. Like they want. Yeah. That's the world we're living in right now, where people want to be triggered. It's wild. It's so wild. And but honestly, our fan base, they're not a polarizing fan base. Yeah. I feel like our fan base knows our heart and knows what we're trying to do. And it's like, at the end of the day, you learn from it, you move forward, and it's always been about the music. But
the thing too, this is actually worth saying too, is anybody that knew y'all or had been around y'all for any time, that's what everybody called y'all anyway. And I think for people that aren't listening,
that's what we were thinking too. Our very first show, we made stickers that said Lady A.
Well, that's what would be so frustrating to me if I were you guys going through that. Yeah. Is like you have this period of time, however long it was, where like it seems like the whole world is paying attention to this, but paying attention is too general. I mean, that's the problem. Like paying attention in quotes. They are slightly paying attention. The way that they're digesting the story, the way that I feel like I'm saying digesting a lot.
I love that.
Jason, can you work on that?
They're reading a snippet.
They're reading not even a snippet from. They're reading like a snippet from a meme from a snippet.
Yep, exactly.
And then they're getting some version that is completely void of nuance.
It has no, and that's the world we live in too. And the thing, and there's never any follow up to any of that stuff. I mean, I can remember like Chris Young got arrested one time, and I remember like, oh man, Chris Young got arrested, and then later came back. He was like, we looked at the video. He was in the right. No one ever heard about the follow up.
That's not interesting anymore.
It's not interesting anymore. Yeah. But it's the world you live in. It's what you. I hate to say it's what you sign up for, but it's what you are stepping into when you get to a certain point. And what I've always loved about our group is we have been able to, from a celebrity standpoint, run so much under the radar by being in a group. And that was the first time it was like we weren't running under the radar, because we've been able to be like, I can go through an airport, get recognized 2 or 3 times, and then go play a show in front of however many people. Yeah. And I love that. You know, but if I go out to dinner with Luke Bryan, I'm like, how do you live? Like, this is hard. Yeah. Like, you have to literally become a different person and accept that your privacy. So I've always bragged that it's the most beautiful thing to be in a band, because you can reach a certain level, like Maroon 5, other than Adam Levine. Would you recognize those guys? Right. They get to go play in front of 20,000 people a night. And I guarantee you, I'm a big fan. I don't know if I would recognize any other guys in the band. And the only reason Adam is because he's on The Voice and all this stuff. So it's just a certain level that you kind of put yourself out there. So God forbid this thing blows up and I actually get recognized.
Yeah. I was going to say, watch this.
No, it's not. I mean, listen, I have cautious optimism that it is going to have some sort of life. But I really just want it to be loved and consumed and loved, because you make music, you want people to hear it. And how in the world do you get people's attention now? There's so much music.
Yeah, I know.
We were going to ask about
exhausting.
That. Putting out new music now in 2025 compared to when you guys first put out music. I mean, the music business is totally different.
Yeah.
What is your expectations now?
I have no idea. I mean, again, self-funding this, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's say it gets streamed 1 billion times. What will I make? $1,000 off that? I mean, that was catering that day.
Did you guys see when
people don't realize? I mean, to make a great record, if y'all want crap put out there, then I mean, the music industry screwed themselves. But guess what I'll do? I'll spend $20 when my kid wants a new Xbox game. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? And he's going to play it, sometimes play or an audio book or whatever, and you're like, you're going to listen to it once. Music you'll listen to the rest of your life, and
Right.
it's not worth anything.
I know.
It's a very backwards, bizarre concept, but we did it to ourselves.
Yeah.
I should say we. They did. The man.
Thank you.
Oh man, there we go.
But because they're clearly making money, so it'd be an interesting thing. But I'm just lucky. I'm in a spot where I'm already kind of going into this using like the production of it, the marketing of it is a loss leader. It is a sunk cost, and yeah, if I want to go tour it, I can make money off that. But like to me, I want ears.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, I want a fresh set of ears listening to this stuff and digging it and like dancing around the living room with it, maybe getting, God forbid, they get inspired by it. I mean,
Can you imagine?
God forbid. But I mean, and I've had those moments. Even with my first solo record, it was like, or as far as you could, that you were saying the song about, like, I've had so many people literally say, like, it didn't blow up, but they were like, this song, like, really helped change, like, the way I look at drinking, and I'm on this journey, and I just wanted to thank you. I'm like, well, there you go.
That
was
That's
it.
right.
That was what it.
That's
That was his purpose. And maybe there's a little bit of that as you get older in life. That like the whole like Richard Rohr in the second half of life. I love reading his stuff. Like to me, that's my kind of. I feel like that guy is so open to like. That's my vision of spirituality, that we don't have to define it so much, but it's all around us. It's in us. It's all in, and we have this thing too in your second half of life where it's almost your purpose and your responsibility to pass on your knowledge. You have attained. We're past the point of like attaining and trying to feel like we got to reach some mountain. It's now going, how do we make the world a little bit better in some way? And I think we make the world better by listening to this record.
Hey,
there we go.
So watch me do this transition. You said how much this is about Cassie. So you guys are pregnant again.
We are.
So this is so fun. So something I told John that we were laughing about that I think is just the best is that of the three members of the band, Kelly and Dave had their baby about a year ago. Is that right?
About a year ago?
Even maybe. Yeah, a little less than that. Hillary is pregnant again. Y'all are pregnant.
Yeah, Hillary's about to have her fourth girl in July, and then we found out we're having another boy in October.
My gosh.
It was a true shock.
Really?
My wife, we had not tried, but like it was so hard.
Because Ward is going to be 10 or still be 9?
Yeah, he's not. He will still be 9.
Still be 9. Okay.
But his birthday's in February. But we like pretty much we were about to go do like IVF for Ward, and just by the grace of God, we get pregnant. And so we were like, and then we kind of not really tried, but like didn't try to prevent it for the next 9 years.
Jeez,
and it was like, it's clearly not going to happen. It was like a miracle that Ward happened. And we were like, you know what? We would brag. We were like, it is awesome being and having an only child. Like it's awesome. So much attention. We're obsessed with this kid. I can't imagine having to share this love. And all of a sudden, literally, like I'm actually with Sam Ellis writing, and she calls because she was joking. She's like, I don't know if I'm like menopausal or something. She's like, something doesn't feel right. I'm like, maybe I'm early menopause. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but no. But that sounds like something you do when you're like 50. And she goes, I want to go get a pregnancy test.
So she told you she was going to go get
sure.
it.
And I was like, young. And I'm like, cool. I'm going to go to my right.
Just to feel young.
Yeah, just to feel young. And she's like, I was like, I'm going to go to my right. Like, yeah, whatever.
Oh my god!
But like, yeah, do it. Can't hurt to do it. She calls me like mid-right, and I mean, she's like, "You're not gonna believe it." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm pregnant." I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my gosh!" And then she's like,
"You're in the right."
Yeah, I'm in the right. And so like, I walk outside, and it was just wild. And for the first 2 weeks, and she'll admit it too, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is amazing." She got me a little. She was like, "I'm 42. Like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I've just got, she started kind of focusing on herself a little bit more and feeling like we were at a point with Ward. So, it was something that I told her, I said, people need to hear that that's okay too, to feel that way. So she, because she's got a lot of friends that just have babies too, a little bit later in their age. And so, I said, it's all going to be great. But there was a little fear because you're like, will the baby healthy, all these things, what it's going to be like, life change. But now it's like we're settling into it. Gosh, we're excited. No one's more excited than Ward.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's been begging for a sibling for years.
Really?
And we're like, ain't going to happen, buddy. I was like, we could adopt, and we might. That might be an option. We would love that. But we were like, I don't know.
So I'm curious, because I think this story is so beautiful, and it's so fascinating me because, you have...
It happened with sex, Dave.
Okay, thanks. I think we're good. Let's go
Dave,
ahead and
I
wrap,
told you
guys.
that.
Yeah.
Could
I
you,
was very thorough.
Could you draw out what that means, just so I know? No, so this is what is so cool to me about the All story is that, you have Ward 9 years ago in the middle of just chaos. I mean, y'all's career is moving. It's like this is the season where all, like you said, it's all systems go. You're all three. You're doing it. And, then fast forward, you're established now. Life is so much more. You have your life. You can look out and see, like, this is our life now. Like, it's this wonderful thing. And then and so having a baby in those two things is fascinating.
It really is wild. And I mean, I've always considered myself a really good dad, but when I look back, I can definitely look at some moments where, like, even my drinking had gotten in the way of, like, spending more time or being this or that, and so, like, to me, like, being able to, like, enjoy it through a new lens. I mean, just even like with Ward, like, my wife right now is out in Italy at a wedding, pregnant, by the way, in an Italy wedding, and like with Ward last night, and he's like in the bed with me, and I'm like here, and at one point he leans over and he goes, "Can you believe, like, and pretty soon, like, I'm going to be able to have my little brother right here and be like, watch the movie." And I was like, it's going to be pretty wild. It's just like, it's cool.
That's a unique thing to have, like, your son be at an age where he can
get it.
Yeah, he can kind of like conceptualize what's going to happen in the future.
It's going to be fun. It'll be interesting as they grow up. See, I grew up, I had a big family. My parents, they're the first marriage, I had two oldest siblings, my sister Christy and my brother John. Now, they were 10 years older than Josh and I. Same marriage.
Oh, wow.
They end up having Josh kind of unexpectedly, and we're like, whoa, okay.
He needs a homie.
So they had me. And then they get divorced, and my
also
dad...
Also be great if both of them can sing really well. Whatever we do needs.
But then, like, my dad, ends up remarrying, and then, like, I've got... I had three half sisters. One of them unfortunately passed really young, but I've got two living, young. So there's six of us, and so we know what it's like to have the 10-year gap, and I know what it's like to have the 10-year younger gap.
That's crazy.
And it is interesting. I'm closest with Josh because of that, and so it is going to be interesting to see, like, how close. Because no matter how much he says, like, we're going to do everything together, I'm like, when you're 15 and you're 16, and that kid is 5 and 6. You're going to be thinking about girls or whatever it is that you're into at that moment. And, so it's going to be interesting to watch this happen. But, gosh, it's just going to be really, it's just fun. And I keep coming back to it, but I can only equate the blessing of it from getting sober.
Yeah.
I probably would not have stayed with my wife probably would have left me. It had gotten to that point where it got so hard, and she got so fed up with it, and was like, every time I come home, I was a happy drunk, and I'll come home and it was like, have you been drinking? How much do you have a drink? And it was like, all right, now we're going to argue about it. Yeah. And it just had gotten to such a point that would not have happened. And we, like, fell back in love with each other. So we were probably making a little more of the sex.
There we go.
And we did not to be too much, but I will say this one night. Usually, my wife's the pursuer and the aggressor, and this was the one night I was like, but do baby. She's like, I'm so tired. I'm like, come on, you want it? And she's like, I'm really, really tired. And I was like, well, let me just kiss on your neck. And and sure enough, she was like, I'm pretty sure that was the only time that little window. And she was like, you did this to me.
That's amazing. But I think I just think it's such a beautiful thing because, this baby is coming into a season where, you just said it so well, like, your life is just so settled and it's so understood. You can, and I think that's such a, talking to our friends, we've had a few friends, my brother, where it's like, who have had kids like in their 40s, like their first kids. And I'm like, one of the real gifts I think of seeing that is that these kids, and obviously y'all had Ward when you did, we've had our kids in our actually 30s for me. But like, even then it's a little more crazy. It's just a little more like you're still, going and doing and running and gunning. But having your kids a little later, when your life is settled and understood, is such a different thing.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be, I just think like with anything, you get a little second chance to really enjoy it and learn from what you maybe have missed out the time before. And that's the great thing, I will say, being in a group with two incredibly balanced people is like, I probably could run and gun a little bit more even now, and just in a different headspace. I still like am not one to say no to many things. And their balance with family and stuff, it does make it difficult when you got three people, because it's like someone's always got a dance recital. Someone's always got something. You're like, at some point,
seems impossible.
At some point, we're going to have to miss something. And they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But that balance, but they do a really good job of keeping me also too balanced, and so it's going to be. It's just going to be a fun journey, but yeah, might have to miss a couple graduates. Might have to miss the birth of my. What movie was that? I don't know, baby. I mean, you can't expect me to be. Was that Dewey Cox? So you can't expect me to be ever. I might have to miss the birth.
That is amazing.
Walk hard. I love that movie.
Thank you so much. And again, the new record. Which
what's that say? Come on, I thought we were going to go track by track. I'm kidding.
Listen,
I'm kidding.
It's Songs for a New Moon. By the time this is out, it'll be done, and it sounds so great. I mean, we were literally listening before you came.
It's a record for the summer too.
Thank you, man. Yeah. It feels it's fun to have it out there. It feels good to have something that feels fun, but also has a good little heart message behind it. There's a lot of forgiveness. There's a lot of redemption. There's a lot of I don't know. Just
it's very joyful,
light, like gratitude.
It's very,
it's joyful. I mean, there are a couple, slightly heavier themes, but mainly it's all hope filled.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But I think, and like I said, I think what a cool thing to have a record that started because a song and a feeling was so compelling. Not that you sat down, like you said so well earlier, and went, I really want to make an 80s record.
Yeah.
Let's go write it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it'll be about, but that you do. I mean, those moments in my career, John, I know you know the same, but like where you're like kind of in between records, and you're like, oh, I'm just kind of, and then you write something and you're like, oh boy.
Well, I think too, it also, I was talking with David and Hillary, I said, for me to have a North Star to write towards, because we've delved into a lot of different types of songs as a band. We can do American Honey, but we can also do Bartender, or Downtown. It's like, and so to actually not go into a writing room going, when someone's like, what do y'all want to write today? You're like, I don't know. I love everything.
Yeah.
Like, make a ballad.
Like,
Let's do it. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Today, you gotta fire up the synth, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, we got to start with the synth, and then that you're on a theme, and you start lyrically. It's like, nope, we're not going there. It's got to be hopeful. It's got to be this. It's got to be redemptive.
So great.
So it was fun to actually have a lane that I was going towards. So
one, two, just to hear again, like we said, to hear your voice in a way. I think for people that love your singing, like John and I do, to hear it do something that's new, that is so, because you're such a good singer, and I think it's a real gift to those of us who like your music to go, hey, this is something new that you get to hear.
It was fun to layer a lot of vocals too. I feel like that was really fun. I got to stack.
Yeah.
And just stack up stuff. I was like, all right, let me try this.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Like, suck it, Dave and Hillary.
No, there's nobody better than no, it was fun.
Thanks for hanging.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, are we start? Okay. Yes. Hey, let's go.
Actually, I'm not talking to you.
Oh,
okay. I'm talking to parents. I'm talking to educators. I'm talking to homeschoolers out there who are looking for something that'll keep the whole family entertained during those long car rides, classroom breaks, and afternoon learning sessions.
John, Who Smarted is the hilariously educational podcast that's become our go-to entertainment. And trust me, you'll actually want to keep listening even after the kids hop out of the car.
That's what you'll just sit there in the driveway.
Yes.
From the brilliant minds behind Brain Games and Brainchild comes the most ridiculously fun educational podcast you will ever hear. I'll fight anyone who says differently.
Yeah.
Sorry. Designed for curious 6 to 10-year-olds.
Listen. we adults are hooked
We're
to, John.
hooked
It's
too.
not just the 6 or 10-year-olds.
I know it. Who Smarted serves up mind-blowing science and history through side-splitting storytelling. That's a lot of alliteration.
I was going to say.
Unforgettable characters and sound effects that'll have everyone cracking up.
Recent episodes have had us absolutely rolling, whether we're discovering why some people are natural-born lefties, driving into the wild world of how glaciers work, or uncovering surprisingly gross truth about why rabbits eat their own poop. Wait, John, you have rabbits.
Yeah, I do. Well, let's just say Who Smarted knows what it's talking about.
You are firsthand for that. Every episode is packed with wait, what? Moments that spark amazing family conversations and make learning feel like pure fun.
Wait, what? Mm-hmm. See, we had one right there.
That's great,
Okay,
yeah.
these stories are perfect for sparking deeper discussions about science and history. As a part of the Starglow Media Kids and Family Network, every single episode is completely kid-safe and educator-approved.
Ready to turn your family into a bunch of know-it-all smarty pants? Find Who Smarted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and get ready for some seriously fun learning.
Wait, what?